Welcome to this week's episode of the Rutledge Perspective. And this week, we're talking about inspiration. And where this came up was I was reading an article and there was a quote that I saw. I think it was attributed to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And there was a bunch of stuff in the quote, but the quote ended with, "You're not tired, you're uninspired." And I kind of thought about that and said, I might need to do some self-examination because I have been awfully tired this quarter. Now, part of that is the corona coma that we're all under, but just that idea of fatigue, that lack of energy, that lack of drive, especially for people who are driven, and us type A folks, when you're feeling that kind of, something just feels off. The first thing you say is, "I'm just tired. I'm just really, really tired." And that is probably true. Mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that kind of stuff. Psychologically, just tired. And we've talked about that whole polyvagal thing, right? Where you're in dorsal, where you're really frozen. And then you've got sympathetic, where you're in flight or fight mode. And then that ventral, where you're just in joy and you're driven and you're in the zone. And so it's more than that kind of dorsal and sympathetic, that just fatigue and that inability to have the kind of energy that you normally have. And so when I read that said, "You're not tired, you're just uninspired," I started thinking about a number of things that we've talked about before. And especially from a leadership perspective, because one of the things that great leaders do really well, is inspire others. And remember, leadership is not about position, leadership is about behavior. And inspiration gives people hope. It gives people drive. It gives people the idea about possibilities and sitting in the opportunities that are there and the ability to achieve. And great leaders are able to inspire people to action, to inspire people to understand and align with the vision and the mission, and to be aligned with how they fit in the overall achievement of those things. And I knew that this was something that I wanted to talk about because, of course, once again, I had a little God wink, and I was able to actually have dinner with my dear friend and mentor and advisor last night. He is in town, is the person who gave me my very first HR job, and he's just an incredible human. His wife is too, just one of the people that I am so blessed to meet. And we were talking about this whole idea of showing up and how we connected, and how I was in a meeting and had been doing this work and was ready to leave this organization because it just didn't make sense. They were paying me to do stuff that they weren't ready to do. And because we had been connected and we'd seen each other in meetings, he said there was just something. And so he reached out to me and he said, "Have you ever thought about HR?" And I remember my response was, "Well," and here we are many decades later. And through this conversation, we caught up, we got a chance to talk about the achievements that we've had, the way we have had the blessing and the honor of serving people and doing the right thing by people, because it's about doing the right thing, even when it feels wrong. You got to do the right thing. And at the end of the dinner, and we were both parting ways and sending notes to each other, just making sure we got back safely. And he said, one of the things he said was, "You are an inspiration." And I thought, "No, you are the inspiration." And I said, "That's a God wink. Need to make sure I'm talking about this tomorrow." And so this whole idea of not only inspiring people, because inspiring people, as I said on Monday, inspiring is a gift. To inspire others is a gift. To be inspired is a treasure. To have someone just really get in your heart and soul and mind and make you think you can do anything, to inspire you to be the best you can be, is a treasure and a blessing. And yet, that idea of being able to inspire ourselves, the magic in that, the magic in digging deep into our own psyche, our own gifts, our own desires, our own willingness to do what is necessary to achieve the kind of service we want to achieve, is a whole different level of nirvana. When you can wake up and you know that what you are doing is aligned with your purpose. When you wake up and you know that what you're going to do that day is somehow going to touch someone else, that you continuing to build and grow and learn and research and develop and taking time for self-care and taking time for self-development enables you to do all that other stuff. It puts everything in a different context. The idea of inspiring yourself to be everything that you have said you wanted to be, to do everything that you said you wanted to do. And it's not easy, because there are times when you are just absolutely uninspired. And yet, if you can tap into that thing, that one thing that makes you say, wow, I'm back. For me, lately, it's been this gardening deal. I don't know what that is, y'all, because I don't dig in the dirt because there's bugs in the dirt. But there's something about this gardening thing lately that has just gotten me inspired. Seeing my spinach come up from seeds. It is the fastest growing thing in my garden. And it started with seeds, right? We talked about sowing seeds last week. That inspiration of putting your hands in the dirt, getting reconnected to what's real, and being inspired by the elements and all of those things that try to detract from your growth. In my case, it's those dang squirrels that have decided that my garden is their garden. And they keep digging for stuff. And bless their little hearts, I know we had the freeze and they're having trouble with food, and I get that, but I just need them to leave my stuff alone. Anyway, I look at this whole gardening thing and what I've planted, the flowers I've planted, the vegetables that I've planted, so excited about cucumbers and spinach, bell peppers, and all of these kind of things. And the inspiration of seeing the work pay off, right? The fact that I know I'm going to be able to harvest from my garden. I'm going to be able to harvest from the seeds that I've sown. I'm inspired by the resilience of these plants. I have a blueberry bush that I'm thrilled about. And it came in a little bag, and then I put it in this bucket. And every time I go out there, there's like new little leaves on this blueberry bush. It is inspiring me to remember, if you will plant and care for something, if you will give it the opportunity to be nourished, give yourself the opportunity to be nourished, you don't know what will come out of that. And to give yourself the inspiration. I mean, that gardening thing is really inspiring me to remember to put my hands in the dirt, right? To get dirty, to reinvest in what is important in building my mind and building my stamina and building my ability to lead and inspire and connect with those who need to hear the message I have to hear. I'm not for everybody. And there are plenty of people who are out there doing fantastic work and giving fantastic messages and great uplifting advice. And all of us are trying to do the right thing and trying to connect with people. For me, it is about helping people understand that they have choices, that you have a choice. You are not crazy. You do have a choice. Sometimes the choices are hard. And sometimes it's just picking the least bad choice, but we're free to make those choices. We're not free from the consequences of those choices, but we're free to make those choices. And I want everyone, in particular women and in particular women of color, to remember that they have a choice. They have a choice, and we don't have to sit in pain, and we're not crazy, and we're not, in my case, mad Black women, that our passion is not aggression, that we do have opinions, and we have education, and we have intellect, and we have drive and action. We have the ability to do the things that we are driven to do, and to take inspiration from the women who have done it, to take inspiration from the men who have done it, to take inspiration from people who have dug deep. Because that's what inspiration does. We look at those people who have achieved. We look at those people who have overcome obstacles. We look at those people who have figured it out despite the circumstances. And if that can inspire us, that is the treasure. That can inspire us to just say, it's okay. If they can do it, I can do it, right? And the people that are watching you, you never know. Someone is always watching. Always watching. And if something you do or something you say or something you give or something you build can inspire someone else to go one more minute or to run one more mile or to take one more interview, then even if you don't know, if you don't actually know that that's happened, knowing that it's happened and has impacted somebody can give you that additional oomph to do the things that you're called to do. It is also important to recognize that part of that inspiration and inspiring ourselves is also getting those creative juices going, whether that's reading a book for you, gardening, whether that is golfing, which I still got to get my golf lessons going, whether that is crafting, which I used to do a lot of. There's something about working with hands for me, whether that's building models. I was telling this story last night about how when I was little, we'd come to Houston in the summer and go to Toys R Us, and I would always get a car model. I don't know why, but that's what I got. Little plastic models with the glue. And I loved taking apart the little things and finding all the pieces and following the directions and putting it together. Even baking now, following the recipes, putting it all together, making sure it works, getting everything set, then putting everything away. There's something in the process of building, the process of creating, the process of putting something in the ground, metaphorically and actually, that is going to reap benefits, that is going to give you rewards, that is going to give you a harvest that is inspiring to me, that fills my soul. It's that idea of faith, family, friends, and health, right? Both physical, financial, and emotional, right? All of those pieces of health for me, wellness with a big W. Those things inspire me to continue to go, to continue to get up, to just move, even when I don't want to. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you need to take a minute and just be in that puddle on the floor. Sometimes there's just nothing more you can do than just honor that space that you're in, which is, I can't do it today. Today, I just need to take a knee. Today, I need a minute. And you have the ability to inspire yourself, remembering why you're here and what you're doing and why you're doing it and for whom you are doing it. And that starts with making sure that you are inspiring yourself to be the person that you know you are, to show up the way you want to be the servant leader that you want to be. We lead by being who we are every single day, because it's too hard to be somebody else. And there's gifts and dispositions and unique capabilities that you have that the world needs. And so look today to inspire someone else. Look to the people that inspire you. What is it about them that inspires you? And then dig deep and find out how you can inspire yourself to keep going, to take that next step, to make that next move, to be who you know you want to be and who you know you can be, because someone is always watching. You are inspiring someone by just showing up, and being you and being vulnerable. So even those days when you're like, you know what, I need a minute, I can't do it today. Just showing up and telling people that. Showing up and telling people, it's going to be a minute today. I just need a minute. Or showing up and saying, I am fired up. I need you to hang with me because I'm going to be talking really fast today. Just give me a minute. I'll calm down in a minute, right? Whoever you are and however you show up is an inspiration to someone who needs something that day. So never forget that someone's always watching. Never forget that you have purpose, you have value, you have an opportunity to give that to the world. And you have an opportunity and an obligation to take care of the vessel you've been given, to take care of inspiring yourself, to give yourself pause, to give yourself grace, to give yourself inspiration, so that whatever it is that feeds you, whatever those seeds are you need to sow, so that you can harvest your best gifts and your amazing fruit to share with the world. Do that. Do that today. Thank you for listening to the Rutledge Perspective podcast. I know this was a little bit different than most of them, but I just felt compelled to inspire because I felt inspired after this amazing dinner last night. And I want to thank my mentor for being there. And we will definitely connect again through this project that you are on here. And I'm excited about that. It's been way too long. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in to the Rutledge Perspective. What's on your mind? What's inspiring you? I really want to know, because when you talk about those things that inspire you, you're inspiring someone else, because it may be something they never thought about or something they used to do years and years ago, and they will pick it up again. So please let me know. Give us a rating, give us a like, Share your views. Give us some comments. I really use that to decide what the next topics are going to be if there's nothing that's heart-led in that week. So thanks again. Have a fantastic week, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye. You've been watching The Rutledge Perspective. Thank you for tuning in. If we have given you a different perspective, or if you've learned something new that you hadn't thought about before, please subscribe to the Rutledge Perspective podcast where you get your favorite podcasts, and give us a like on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher. We really appreciate it. And your feedback is important as well, as we use that to inform our next episodes. You can also head over to my website, laurelrutledge.com, and download a freebie called Where's My Mojo that can really help you get out of your rut or maybe talk you back off that ledge of frustration. You can also find previous episodes of The Rutledge Perspective on laurelrutledge.com. I really appreciate your tuning in. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.